He only comes when the carols stop. A Christmas horror story. Everyone thinks Santa comes when you're asleep. They're wrong. He comes when the house is quiet. When the carols stop. And when no one is watching the tree anymore. And if you hear footsteps on the roof after midnight, it's already too late to pretend you're asleep. I used to love Christmas. The lights. The smell of pine. The way the world felt softer for just a few nights. That all ended the year my little brother went missing at 2:17 a.m. on Christmas morning. While the presents were still unopened. And the cookies were still warm. The police said he wandered outside. But the snow outside our house was untouched. No footprints. No drag marks. No signs of struggle. Just one thing left behind. A wet, black boot print on the living room carpet. Right in front of the Christmas tree. And it wasn't human. Our town had strange Christmas traditions. Things people followed without asking why. Like. No Christmas music after midnight. Lights off by 12:30 a.m. Curtains closed, especially near the tree. And never, under any circumstances, look up if you hear something on the roof. People said it was just superstition. But every year, someone disappeared. And every year, everyone pretended it didn't happen. The night my brother vanished, the house was full. Relatives laughing. Plates clinking. Carols playing too loud. Mom kept checking the clock. Dad kept turning the volume down. At 11:58 p.m., my mom stood up and said something I'll never forget. Turn it off. Now. The music stopped mid-song. The silence felt wrong, thick, heavy, like the air before a storm. Then the clock hit 12 o'clock. That's when we heard it. A slow, deliberate step above us. Not a shuffle. Not an animal. A footstep that my uncle laughed nervously. Probably snow sliding. But snow doesn't pause between steps. Step. Step. Something was walking. And it was heavy. The tree lights flickered. One bulb popped. Then another. My little brother whispered. Why is Santa walking like that? Nobody answered him. At 12:17 a.m., the tree lights went out completely. The room went dark. Then we heard a sound that made my blood freeze. A low breathing noise. Not from the chimney. From inside the room. I turned on my phone flashlight. The beam landed on the tree. And something behind it moved. Not fell. Not swayed. It leaned forward. I don't call it Santa. I refuse to. It was tall, too tall. Its back scraped the ceiling as it straightened. The suit wasn't red. It was blackened, wet, and stitched together like skin pulled too tight. Its beard clung to its face in clumps. And its eyes. God, its eyes were empty sockets glowing faintly like dying embers. It smiled. And when it spoke, its voice came from everywhere at once. The carols stopped late this year. It reached into the sack behind the tree. Not a bag. A body-shaped sack. It pulled something out and placed it gently on the floor. A present. My name was written on the tag. In my mother's handwriting. The thing tilted its head. Open it. My hands were shaking so badly I couldn't move. My brother stepped forward instead. That's when the thing looked at him. And laughed. 2:17 a.m. The lights came back on suddenly. Everyone was screaming. The tree was normal again. No creature. No footprints. No sack. Just one thing missing. My little brother. And under the tree, a single note, written in black ink. He was awake. They say it only comes if you break the rules. They say it only takes one child a year. They say if you survive once, you're safe forever. They lied. Because this year, the carols stopped again. And I hear something on my roof. Don't leave milk out after midnight. If you wake up on Christmas morning, and the milk is gone, but the cookies are untouched, you weren't visited by Santa. You were chosen. There's a reason some families stop celebrating Christmas altogether. They won't tell you why. They'll say it's about money, or trauma, or religion. But the truth is simpler. They survived something. And once you survive it, you spend the rest of your life pretending Christmas doesn't exist. My family didn't survive. Every Christmas Eve, my mother followed the same routine. Cookies on a chipped blue plate. A glass of milk filled exactly halfway. No carrots. No letters. No decorations near the door. And before going to bed, she'd kneel in front of me and whisper. If you hear the floor creak tonight, don't move. If you hear breathing, don't scream. And if someone says your name, pretend you're dead. I thought it was a joke. It wasn't. We never had a Christmas tree. No lights. No ornaments. No star. When I asked why, my mother's face would go pale. Trees invited, she said. I laughed. She didn't. The year everything went wrong, I was 17. Old enough to think I knew better. I wanted a normal Christmas. So while my mother was asleep, I did something small. Something stupid. I added 2 cookies next to the milk. I woke up to the sound of liquid sloshing. Slow. Careful. Like someone drinking without swallowing. My bedroom door was open. The hallway light was on. And I could hear bare feet on the floor. I peeked. I shouldn't have. It was crouched in front of the counter, its back bent at the wrong angle. Its limbs were too long. Its skin looked stretched, like it didn't belong on its body. It held the glass of milk with both hands. Drinking. Not spilling a drop. Its head turned toward me. And it smiled them why father had died when I was 10. But the thing's voice. It was his. You grew, it said softly. That makes you harder to take. My legs locked. It sniffed the air. But not. Impossible. My mother screamed from her room. The thing froze. Then it stood, slowly, until its head brushed the ceiling. You left food, it said. That's an invitation. It stepped toward my room. The floorboards groaned. My mother ran into the hallway holding something in her hands. A small box. She opened it. Inside was a lock of hair. My hair. From when I was a baby. She threw it at the thing. It hissed, shrill and inhuman. Not yet, it snarled. And then it was gone. The milk was empty. The cookies were untouched. And my mother was dead on the kitchen floor. No wounds. No blood. Just her mouth frozen open in a silent scream. On the counter was a message written in condensation. Next year, he won't forget. I don't celebrate Christmas anymore. I don't decorate. I don't leave food out. And I never sleep on Christmas Eve. Because last night, I found milk missing from my fridge. And I live alone. If the bells ring after midnight, hide. Church bells aren't supposed to ring on Christmas night. If they do, it means someone didn't make it to morning. Our town had a church no one attended. No Sunday services. No weddings. No funerals. But every Christmas Eve, at exactly 12:33 a.m., its bells rang once. Only once. And the next morning, someone was gone. This year, the bells rang twice. Everyone in town knew the rule, even if no one admitted it. When the bells ring, you don't look outside. You lock your doors. You turn off the lights. And you stay away from windows, especially ones facing the church. My grandmother took it further. She nailed our front door shut every Christmas Eve. We moved back to town after my father died. Grandma said the house would keep us safe. I noticed something strange the first night. Every mirror in the house was covered with cloth. They remember faces, Grandma said. She wouldn't say who they were. Snow fell heavy and silent. The town was dark. No lights. No music. No movement. Then the bells rang. Clang. The sound shook the walls. Grandma grabbed my wrist. "Don't breathe," she whispered. I heard them before I saw them. Slow steps outside. Crunch. Pause. Crunch. They stopped in front of our house. Then a knock. Not hard. Polite. A man spoke through the door. "We're looking for the one who didn't pray." My grandmother's face drained of color. She stared at me. I hadn't prayed that night. The bell rang again. Louder this time. Closer. The walls vibrated. The man outside laughed softly. "You hear that? That one's for you." The windows went dark. Not black. Blocked. Something tall passed in front of the glass. I saw its outline through the curtains. Too thin. Too long. And it bent down. Looking in, Grandma whispered through tears. "They're not angels. They're not men. They're what's left after forgiveness runs out." She pressed something cold into my hand. A rosary made of bone. "If they say your name, don't answer." The voice outside softened. It sounded kind. "We know you're awake." Then it said my name. Perfectly. Exactly how my father used to say it. I didn't answer. The knocking stopped. Footsteps moved away. Then the final sound echoed through the town. A scream. Short. Cut off. The snow outside was stained dark red. The church doors were open. Inside, the bell rope was still swaying. Grandma was gone. And written on the altar in ash were the words, "Next year, you pray."